I've been challenged. Hi guys, if you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. I have been challenged by Jazz over at Red Panda Reads, and I'm a little scared. A challenge to send her 3 books, but not just any books. She has given me strict rules for them. Book number 1 must be a standalone fantasy. Number 2, a romance where the couple are not enemies first. And 3 is the wild cards. That can be anything I want. The only trigger warning she has given me is it cannot have car crashes. I'm worried. What counts as a romance, guys? I mean, according to my genre videos, it is where without the romance, the book would not make sense and would have no plot. But does a romance have to be a couple? Can they just be like a romance between friends that they don't smoochy in the end? And what about the standalone fantasy? How many standalone fantasies are there? Like, fantasies are huge, and generally they are a massive series with at least 3 books in them. I don't see many fantasies where there's not a multitude of books, which is why Jazz has obviously given me this challenge. Those are the only rules for this challenge, so I have to find 1 standalone fantasy, 1 romance where the couple are not enemies, and a wild card. I will then post these to Jazz and she will unbox them and read them. Another thing that scares me, I don't want to disappoint her. What if I send her a book and she doesn't like it? I want to make sure it's a book she likes and also a book she hasn't read. I'm a bookworm. I read books all the time. I have the BookTube, AuthorTube channel. I give writing tips. I write books. I love words. Jazz is on a whole other level of reading. I am admittedly quite a slow reader. I read a book every 2 weeks. Minimum it will take me a week, sometimes longer if life is getting in the way. Jazz's last monthly wrap-up had 9 books, people. 9 in 1 month. I don't know how she finds time to work or sleep or eat. I don't understand how she does it, but she does. So how am I going to find a book on my bookshelf that she has not read? Ah! Calm. Tea good. I just realized I didn't use the handle. Is that weird? With that, let's try and find these books. Alright, so this is mine and Matt's main bookshelf. As you can see, there's a lot of Pratchett on here, but also not that much single fantasies. They're all series. Look at them all. 3. That one's part of a series. We just don't have the rest. I mean, a romance where the couple do not hate each other first. Well, I've got some to start with. Let's go to our second bookshelf. This one again. Look, so much fantasy. So little standalones. So we've got all the Game of Thrones up there. All the writing, tip books, information, series. A definite romance, the Caraval series, but in the first one, they're enemies. In the second one, they're not enemies. But that's the second one, and without reading the first, you can't read the second. So that's a no. Sci-fi. I still have no idea, guys. Let's just try and say which ones are romance, and then which ones can be standalone, and go from there. Ones that I think could have romance in. This might take a while. I am so stuck right now. I have an issue. I do read romance, but I tend to only keep books that I would read again. And with romance, I often find once you've read the romance, then that's it. And you can't really find anything else interesting in the book, so I don't keep many romances. And I think I've just discovered that the only standalone fantasy we have on our shelves that I don't think Jazz has read leaves me with one option. But that one option is a fantasy, but it's also a romance. So I'll be sending Jazz 2 romance books, but I can't use the fantasy romance as the romance option because they're enemies first. Problems. I've managed to narrow my pile down to these 3. So I have 4 romance, which I believe they were not enemies first when I read them. I have 2 standalone fantasies. I'm not sure, but from the books that I have read in my collection, this might be the only standalone fantasies I have. I mean, some Pratchett can stand as standalone because the entire Discworld series, you don't have to read the entire series, so they could be standalones, but by definition, Jazz has asked for standalone fantasy, so these ones definitely do not have a sequel, and as far as I am aware, she has not read them. That was another problem I had, because you read so many books, Jazz. How am I supposed to find ones you don't read? And then I have 2 books in my wildcards. Both of these books, I would be super pleased if she reads them, so that's not too difficult a choice. I think it depends on which one I choose from these 2, for which one I would have in this one. So let's see which one I go for. I've chosen the 3 books for Jazz over at Red Panda Reads. That was a book which is a standalone fantasy, a romance where they are not enemies first, and a wild card. But I don't just want to send the books alone, so I'm going to make some candles, because if anyone has seen this channel before, I am obsessed with candles and nice smells. I'm going to make her 3 candles, 1 for each book, and I'm going to send those along with the books. Finally, I'm going to write a letter for Jazz just to explain the 3 different books I've got her and why, and also to say which candle goes with what book and why. I am also going to put in an extra gift in the box, but I'm not going to show you what that is. If you want to see that, you're going to have to go to Red Panda Reads page and watch the unboxing. But very soon, we're going to see what she sends me. The box is ready. We have the 3 books. Oh, I wrapped them and everything. This is all reused paper or fabric, so that's all wrapped, so we'll pop those in. I have the 3 candles, and I also have a few little surprises in there. So let's close up the box. And we're ready to go and see Jazz over at Red Panda Reads. I'm going to cycle this over to her today. It's here! Jazz has given me the present and I'm so excited. So if you want to see Jazz over at Red Panda Reads open the books that I have sent her, the link is below this video. But now, if you've come over from her channel, welcome. And if you're staying on mine to see me unbox what Jazz has got me, it's here. And I'm so excited to open this bag. You have no idea. Even my partner Matt really wants to know what's in it. She brought it round on a day I was at work, and I work long shifts, so I've had to wait all week before I can open it. So I'm super excited to open this for you guys. The rules to this book swap is we gave each other 3 challenges. One was just a wild card, so that's something that you want the other one to read. But the challenges that I gave Jazz were 1 translated book, 1 book with a black protagonist, and the 3rd is a wild card, so that is just something that she would like me to read. So let's open this scarily full bag. I think there's more than just books in here, so I'm super excited. Let's open it. But inside, guys, look, it's all red. She's even put a bag in a bag. It's so sweet. It's Robin. I love doing this, and I'm so excited for you to see the books I choose. There's one I really hope / think you're going to love. I've included a little something for you and Matt. I had a weird memory of you really liking Line, but COVID may have addled my brain. I've also included the Foundling for you to keep, as you mentioned you would like it in my clear out. I found it enjoyable, but her other book was amazing. I've loved our book club, and I'm so lucky to have you guys as friends. You're wonderful, and I can't wait for barbecue and board games in the future. Oh, that's so sweet, Jazz. And it says in highlighted, don't open until you've opened the bag. So I'm going to put this aside, and we'll open the bag first. Oh, I can already see what the surprise was. She sent me some Jägermeister, and yes, Jazz is correct. I do really like Jägermeister. I'm a little bit weird. So most people have this as shots or as Jäger bombs. I drink this like whiskey. So I just drink a little cup of it, like, and sip at it because it tastes like medicine. So for some reason, I think it's good. Everyone mostly disagrees with me, but if you're into Jäger and you actually like the taste of it, comment down below because I want to find other people who actually like this stuff like I do. So thank you so much, Jazz. And then, oh, mini eggs. Oh yeah, she sent me some mini eggs because we all need nibbles when we read. We all know this. I'm guessing in this bag. Oh, and she's also put in here The Foundling by Stacey Halls. This isn't actually part of our book swap. She was unhauling her books, and it's one that me and Matt said we were interested in reading. So thank you so much for that, Jazz. I'm looking forward to reading this. Let's see what the books are. Ooh. Oh, she's even put them in so the spines aren't at the top. That, oh, you're evil, Jazz. First one I pull out the bag is, ooh, Dread Nation by Justina Ireland, and it's a New York Times bestseller. How have I not heard of this? Look at that cool front cover. And I'm gonna say this might be a book with a black protagonist, so we'll find out. I'll read her letter. That looks really cool. Carolina de Roberts Cantora's, a novel. That looks cute. It's quite a small one as well, which is sweet. It feels strange. It's made from a different material to normal books. It's like slightly rough to touch, but I like that. And then we have the last one, Moonrise by Sarah Crossman. That's that one there. So let's find out which book is which, and I'll read you guys the blurbs. Okay, so I said a translated book. I choose Cantoris by Carolina de Roberts, and firstly, let's discuss the elephant in the room. It is not translated. Alright, so I challenged Jazz to get me a translated book. It's not translated, but let's see why she has said it. It is not translated. To my disappointment, I realised all my physical translated books I am yet to read. I will change that, or are on audio. One of my favourite middle grade fantasy books growing up was In Heart by Cornelia Funk, translated by Anthea Bell. If I still had it, it's what I would have then sent to you. Instead, I wanted to choose a book which opened my eyes to a different culture and educational about their history. That's fine. Like, I know it's not translated, but it does take place somewhere else, so I'll count that as a foreign book even though it's not translated from another language. So thank you so much, Jazz. I pre-apologise if I mispronounce this country's name, but I'll read you guys the blurb. In defiance of the brutal military government that took power in Uruguay in the 1970s and under which homosexuality is a dangerous transgression, 5 women miraculously find one another and together an isolated cape that they claim as their own. Over the next 35 years, they travel back and forth from their secret sanctuary, sometimes together, sometimes in pairs, with lovers in tow or alone. Throughout it all, they will be tested repeatedly by their families, lovers, society, and one another. As they fight to live authentic lives, a groundbreaking genre-defining work, Cantoris is a dazzling portrait of queer love, community, forgotten history, and the strength of the human spirit. This sounds so good. And then, let's see what the next one is then. Book 2, a book with a black protagonist. That is Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. So let's read the blurb of this one. Trained at Miss Preston's School of Combat for Negro girls in both weaponry and etiquette, Jane McKean is poised for a successful career protecting the wealthy from the encroaching plague of Walking Dead. But when families begin to go missing, Jane uncovers a conspiracy that pits her against some powerful enemies. Sent far from home, Jane will need all her resourcefulness, wit and strength of character to survive. A powerful, compelling tale of a young woman's journey through a hostile world. Jane McKean is an unforgettable protagonist and Dread Nation is an unforgettable book. It has so many good reviews on the back. How have I not heard of this book? I mean, I've never read a zombie book, and Matt will tell you, I am actually scared of zombies. For some reason, it's a weird apocalypse I can actually see happening, and so therefore I am scared of them. But I've always wanted to read a zombie book because the fact they scare me is a good thing, because you want to be scared when you read a horror kind of book. So I'm really excited to read this. I can't believe I haven't heard of it or seen it before. I mean, look at how many reviews are on the back there. There's so many. Just how have I missed this book? Thank you so much. Let's see what Jazz says about it. A book with a black protagonist. I choose Dread Nation, which was a 5-star read for me. It is a historical fiction zombie apocalypse with Jane, our badass and lovable protagonist. I really hope you love it. When I mislaid this book in the move and was looking for our books with black protagonists on my shelf, I realised there was one and not a single fantasy book. Can you recommend any fantasy books with a more diverse set of characters? I think Matt will enjoy it too. Matt will read all these too, Jazz, don't you worry about that. And yeah, that is actually why I set this challenge for Jazz, because even on my own shelves, in almost every fantasy book I've read, the main characters are generally from Europe and generally white. There's absolutely no reason for this to be the case. Any writers out there who are writing a book, please adjust this problem. Please write a book with people from different countries in it. And fantasy does not need to be based in Europe. It can be anywhere in the world. In a world of fiction, where we make up everything and it is completely our choice what a character looks like, why are we not writing more diversity? Write some more diverse characters, people! A fantasy book without a white protagonist. I actually think I have a few. I've just been thinking about it and I think I have some. So I have a fantasy book, Across the Nightingale Floor by Leanne Hearn. It's sort of a historical fantasy, but I absolutely adore this book. It's part of a trilogy and I loved it so much. So Jazz, this is one. Read this one. It's good. Another fantasy which isn't all white protagonists. I mean, I don't know if you class this as fantasy or not, but I kind of, if it's not, it's fiction at least, would be Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. He often delves into the Asian culture. He spent a lot of time in Japan. He has a Japanese wife. He now lives in Ireland or Scotland, I think. But he's done a lot of traveling and he does mix up his character's race. So that's another one to read if you are looking for books which aren't just predominantly white cast. David Mitchell's quite a good one to look into. Matt believes we do have another book on our shelves which doesn't have a white protagonist, and that is Nation by Terry Pratchett. It's one I haven't read yet. I'm trying to read Terry Pratchett in order, so obviously he wrote like at least 2 books a year his entire life, so it's taken a while. But this is one, I think we've had 3 copies of this earlier on in our relationship. He got a copy, I got given a copy for Christmas, and then I think later on we both got given a copy again. People know we like Pratchett, so we just keep collecting. It's not a problem. Buy as many Pratchetts as you like. Terry Pratchett, Nation, also fantasy, non-white protagonist. Here's another one for you, Jazz. So I've given you 3 different authors and different books that you can look at if you want to read a book without a white protagonist. They are out there, but we shouldn't have to search this hard, damn it. And then the last book then, so this one, Moonrise, is the wild card. I'll read you guys the blurb from this one. It looks so cute. And what's super nice as well, I can see that this is also a second-hand book that Jazz has bought as well. So not only has Jazz bought it second-hand, she's now lent it to me, so it's third-hand, which is brilliant. Always share books out, guys, and if you can, buy books from second-hand bookshops as well as new ones, then it's really helpful for the environment as well. Joe hasn't seen his brother for 10 years, and it's for the most brutal of reasons. Ed is on death row. But now Ed's execution date has been set, and Joe is determined to spend those last weeks with him no matter what other people think. From award-winning author Sarah Crossman, this poignant, stirring, huge-hearted novel asks big questions. What value do you place on life? What can you forgive? And just how do you say goodbye? Oh, Jazz, I'm already feeling tears coming. Serious? Oh no, oh no. Look, I'm already like starting to cry. I haven't even read the book and I can already tell it's gonna be horrible at the end. Oh, Jazz. Oh no. And also, I wear eco-friendly makeup. This isn't waterproof. Oh, I'm really excited and also terrified. I want to see what Jazz has said now. Last year, I discovered books written in verse and love it. Sarah Crossman is a new favourite author for me. Moonrise is the first one I read. It is a young adult book and follows... It's a young adult book? Oh, it sounds too serious for YA. Oh my god. It is a young adult book and follows the protagonist as he tries to reconnect with his brother who is on death's row. Be prepared for an emotional roller coaster, one of my favourite books of 2020. So Jazz got this in 2020 and she already knows it's a roller coaster. I'm terrified. Now the problem is, which one do I read first? These all sound absolutely amazing. And she sent me an extra fourth as well. I'm so excited to read all of these. I don't know which one to start with. If you guys have a preference, please comment down below which one you think I should read first. We have the wild card, which is Moonrise. We have Dread Nation, which has a black protagonist. And then we have Cantoras, which should be a translated book, but it's not, but it isn't set in England, so I will let Jazz off with it. I know it's difficult to always have translated books, and I had the same problem as Jazz. A lot of books that would have fit what she had challenged me with, I actually haven't read yet, and we can't send books to people before we've read them, because then how would we discuss them? It's fine, I'll let you off with that one. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to see it since I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. I post general bookish pictures, as well as my writing tips, unboxings, and vlogs on there. If you want to follow Jazz, she is Red Panda Reads. She has a YouTube channel, Instagram. She's a wonderful person. Her book taste is perfect, so give her a like and a follow. If you want to see her unboxing what I sent her, the link is below this video. And likewise, you will also see her choosing these books for me. She knows what she's done. I'm going to be a little weeping mess with Moonrise. I can already see it happening. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.